Welcome to the Talking Truck. What is it? Talking Truck Shit podcast. I'm going to start that up.
Whether you prefer shiny or patina, lowered or lifted, 2 or 4-wheel drive. Buckle up with your host, Brett Sullivan, Barry Higgins, and Jeremy Howland as they fire up their engines with the Talking Truck Shit podcast. Listen in as they talk trends and tech, talk to industry experts, and laugh at each other's road stories. So grab your favorite drink and feel that thunder as we roll into the first episode right now.
Welcome to pod number 4.575. Recording with I'm Brett Sullivan. This is Jeremy Allen, Barry Higgins, and our guest for pod number 4 is Jesse Vaughn, Level 7 Motorsports, and we're just getting together this evening and kind of shooting the breeze, learn a little bit more about Jesse, and he's going to give us a scoop on what's going on with Level 7.
I'm just going to start by saying that this bourbon bottle didn't immediately start it empty.
He walked in the door like man chugging that thing, tipping. And not all these drinks are mine.
Well, he doesn't send them motherfuckers mine.
I don't know about you, but I quit working at 3:30.
3:30. Yeah, you pre-gaming in order to come up here. But Jesse. I mean, if somebody's following what we have going on with our podcast, what we have going on with C10 Club Illinois, what we have going on with the Southern Illinois Truck Showdown, and they don't know what's going on with Level 7, I mean, I honestly think that, man, they're going about it backwards, because I see that you've got quite the following, and I think we've got a little bit to talk about. You kind of tell us about what's going on in the shop, where your passion came from, and I mean, let's kick it off with that.
Yeah, the truck thing is a thing that's what made us popular, so to speak, in the social media world. We've built quite a few trucks. It started with my yellow and white C10 truck, my square body.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was kind of something that happened really organically. I had built quite a few trucks in quite a few cars and trucks previous to that. And that was just kind of like a continuation of like learning. And that's just kind of where I got to. I had built a lot of other things throughout like my younger years and learned a lot of stuff. And I had road raced and done some stuff with the Optima series and a Nissan 240SX. I had an OBS 88 truck, and then I had a 68 step side that went to Australia. And then I bought that yellow and white truck. And the yellow and white truck was kind of going back to doing some road race stuff. I had done road race stuff in that Nissan 240. I'd done a little bit in a Civic before. And so I was like, well, let's just try to do something completely different. And that's when I bought that yellow and white truck for like, I think it was like $5,200 down in Georgia. Yeah, like had a 383, a 700R4.
Yeah,
like
and everybody's just
wheels.
Looking now for the $5,200 square.
You don't
Jesse
have
done bought them all. That's why.
Yeah.
So tell us, and I know like we had discussions earlier this evening and everything, but tell us about the transition that come from the foreign cars and your interest in them, and how that transitioned into the trucks.
Let me set that up. So when I first came to know of Jesse, it was Hondas, right? That was the reputation that Level 7 was. It was for building the import cars. Now less so, but as we kind of discussed earlier, you still have you have a feeling for that. But you're more well known for trucks. So yeah, like Brett said, talk us through the transition from that world to the other world.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that you guys didn't hear this earlier, but like I started really, really young. Kind of my dad and I started out riding dirt bikes at 4 years old, and I grew up kind of like gas and oil in my blood, like dirt bikes and working on just crappy old dirt bikes. And I had a Honda Odyssey. Do you remember a Honda Odyssey? Yeah, I had a Honda Odyssey that I blew up like 3 times.
Kind of want one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Um,
My dad used to race Honda Odyssey.
No kidding. I always envied the Pilot guys. Remember Honda Pilots? Yeah, like the Honda Odyssey was like 350 two-stroke, but no power, no suspension. But anyways, like I kind of got gas oil in my blood at a really early age by my dad, and he just kind of instilled in me, like from a perspective of like trying to save money. He was trying to get a hold of me at an early age and say like, hey, what kind of car are you going to buy? Like, how are you going to pay for it? And he was trying to incentivize me to save money, but really it didn't hit that way with me. And so he told me whatever money I saved up, he would match. And so, I mean, literally the first vehicle I saw was an 84 Toyota pickup truck. We bought that and between my 8th grade and freshman year. And he taught me how to do screen door, mesh bodywork and Bondo, and I painted it, put tires on it, KC daylighters on top, a brush guard made out of some exhaust tubing in the front.
Yes.
And I loved it. And then probably my first year driving that in high school, I saw a 92 Camaro that I really wanted to buy. I was able to sell that truck and buy that car. And then like fast forward a little bit, I remember like evaluating where I was with cars at age 25, and I'd had 25 cars already by then. And then it was just fueled by like a passion for learning. It was just literally trying to like read whatever I could comprehend, you know. So I was subscribing to every magazine that I could. I was going to libraries like in high school, and I would read about like an article about how to, you know, put an LT out of an Oldsmobile into a Toyota pickup, and that's exactly what I would do. And so I would do it, and I would sell it, and then I would buy something else. And it was just the only way that I could learn how to do something was just to physically do it. Yeah. And I've always been that way, like reading comprehension, terrible in school. Math, I was okay. You know, so the only way I could learn would be to like try to buy something, do it, move on to the next project. And so that just kind of continued all the way through like the point where I had built some nice stuff, you know, and stuff got recognized by Hot Rod Magazine or got put into a magazine. At the time probably was like Import Tuner or something like that. I had built like a 240 SX, and that was my gateway into road racing. And so I just kind of kept going. And then when Sean and I, my wife, bought that yellow and white truck, it was like, let's just try to do something completely different. Let's kind of go into autocrossing, like let's road race. And we had just had our first son, or our son Charlie, and it was like, I remember going on the power tour in, this was probably 15 or something. We went on the power tour like on a bucket in that truck, or on bench seat in that truck, and I tried to pull it and put a bucket to autocross, and then like that truck, you know, like it just went forever, you know. And then Paul came on board and helped me push that truck even further, and we went really far. But the truck stuff was just kind of organic. We had built Power Wagons and Land Cruisers and cars and like all kinds of stuff. But like really whenever the yellow light truck hit, the industry was ready for that.
Yeah,
you know,
the
like,
timing was right.
It was totally perfect. Everything was kind of transitioning. You know, like 69 Camaros had been built. And like guys were looking for like a little cheaper platform. And like there was a group of people that were kind of like building and autocrossing trucks, period. Right. And I think that kind of helped springboard a bit of the truck movement.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that there's like a lot of nostalgia involved with truck stuff in general, but like I think that I was just positioned in the right place at the right time, and it just totally worked out for the best for Level 7 to be at that place at that time.
So I'm really curious about the autocrossing with the trucks, right? Because of the inherent unbalance to a truck, right? How do you drive it differently? Do you set it up differently? Like, you know,
that was like a terrible learning curve. And honestly, it was so valuable to do it. And now that I look back, I would have never learned what I know now had I never started with a truck, because I did that 240 and I did lighter cars like Civics and stuff. Like that's the easy car. Like they work, like they're so light that they work, you know, like suspension geometry, like that is never a concern in any of those cars. Like you just put a bunch of tire on them and you make them make power and they work, then they're super fast. Well, I had that same kind of concept with the yellow and white truck. It was like, all right, well, let's just put I think it was at the time 295s all the way around, which at the time was like groundbreaking. Like to have a 295 in the front of a truck. And then I just put a bunch of power to it, and I bought bolt-on suspension. It just didn't work at all.
Right.
And then it was like, why doesn't this work? You know, so then we had to like, I honestly, like there was a lot of mentors, you know, Rob from No Limit, and at the time, Ride Tech Brett Vocal, you know, there was a lot of dudes that were in the autocross scene that were like totally happy to like get under a truck and be like, this roll center is way too high. And I'd be like, yeah, for sure. I'll just move it right down. But you know, I'd have to figure out what in the hell they meant, you know, and like it was just such a painful thing because I had like a newborn, like I had been married for forever, and like I would spend all our money that we didn't have at the time, new business, like, and I was like, this is gonna be like the platform that Level 7 is gonna be known for, you know, and I would go do these autocrosses and honestly suck. Yeah. And
steering itself right off the fucking track.
Yeah, and I was suck so bad, and then just be on the way home. Just, I'm sure Sean suffered so bad. She'd just hear me being like, "If I only had bigger tires, if I only had this, if I only had that, I wouldn't suck so bad." And it was just like a learning curve that just is so valuable. Like I've said this before, like on our YouTube and some stuff that we've done before, but like that, like made me learn certain. And it was super valuable, and it's all stuff that can be applied to like what we're doing today.
So your customers have benefited from that learning curve, right?
You know, absolutely. And then, you know, like we're doing like an OBS truck now for us and for me and for Level 7 to kind of prototype some parts off of. But like I'm trying to put out some stuff on YouTube, like, hey, when you walk by that 4-link, like, what do you notice about that? Like, what are those bar angles look like? What does the instant center height look like? Do you see that there's any anti-squat in that? Like, look at the Panama bar. Is there any? What's the roll center? Well, like, there's a bunch.
I feel
of
like you did back then. Like, yeah, bro, yeah, totally.
Shake your head.
Yeah. Yep, I see that too.
Yeah, I would just see it if you saw it.
Yeah. Well, so in talking about all this stuff, I see you're transitioning really well, getting accustomed to what we have going on with the podcast here, because I know that, you know, we're really stepping it up a little bit in relation to, you know, when you and Robbie get together and do recordings and stuff. I mean, this is pretty upper echelon what we have going on.
Top tier.
So
the best.
Yeah. I mean,
Robbie better watch the fuck out.
Yeah, I know it, right? I mean, listen, we only have to make like 27 attempts to make it go one time. But goddamn, when we do, it's awesome.
It hits.
Watch yourselves.
Right.
Yeah. But so, you know, you go through and you're building these trucks, and the customers that you're dealing with. I mean, how does it work as far as plotting and planning to finished product that goes out the door? And, you know, I mean, what's the highs and lows of it?
The highs and lows can be pretty bad, but like the way to negate a lot of the lows is to know the customer. I try to meet with a customer, or at least have phone conversations like 5 times. I want to know what the intent is with the vehicle. Like, and I want to know a lot about his personality. You know, if he's a farmer and he literally just wants to drive it into town and back, like that's one thing. Or if he's a younger guy and it's his goal to be competitively racing a C10, that's a completely different truck. You know, so you just have to judge the expectation of the customer. And so I like to like try to get a feel for those guys quite a bit. I think that helps a lot with success. And just making sure you know them, and making sure I communicate with them quite a bit. I have no idea if I answered that question right or not.
Well, that's that Woodford talking. No, you
getting that other bottle out, or what?
It is interesting to hear your perspective on things. And we've had other folks on here that, you know, are involved in this industry. And I think the common theme that I've seen, you know, in talking, having Barry talk, and then, you know, some of our other guests, it's trying to get to know the person, and then, you know, that their expectations match the reality, both of their wallet and the time frame. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really interesting to me. I think everybody, you know, a guy like myself, I don't have $100,000 to put into a truck, $200,000 to put into a truck. That doesn't mean that I can't appreciate, you know what I mean, the fact that somebody does, and the work that the kind of cost that takes.
So some of those questions are like, hey, what does a C10 cost to build?
Oh yeah.
Well, hell, what's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house cost?
How big is how big is a
It's all the same, what do you want out of this 3-bedroom, 2-bath house? Like, what are you and your wife's objectives? It's the same with a pickup truck or a car or anything else. Like, I need to know, like, what it is exactly want.
Your budget is the first question.
Yeah,
and if your budget's like $50,000, you may need to go do something different.
And those conversations happen quite a bit. And you try to, like, tread lightly, and you ask, like, have you ever commissioned a project like this before? Like, do you know? I don't mean to say, like, do you know, but, like, have you been down this road before?
Right. Yeah, a little bit of preparation for the customer.
Or has it been 30 years since you built something? You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys that built something 30 years ago think that now
that it costs $25,000.
Now it's the same money, and it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
a current paint job is the price that a full build costs when I was younger. So 60 grand of paint is a shell shock for sure. But to answer that question, like, a lot of the process is knowing the guy.
Yeah. So, we've had discussions, and I know that you've got a lot of stuff going in the shop right now, and I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us and kind of shoot the breeze about things. But so in the last couple of years, you've been out at a ton of shows and everything, and this year maybe not so much with being out at the shows. So that is a byproduct of being at the shows in the past.
Yeah, it's totally effective, and we started we had like a marketing strategy, and it started when I bought my yellow and white truck. And it was like, okay, we're going to build this yellow and white truck. We're going to hit the autocross scene, and people are going to, like, know that the staple is the yellow and white truck is associated with level 7.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. And that worked super well. And then it was like, okay, well, now I need to actually get in front of the person and have that conversation, because they need to know me. And that was kind of before we did all the United by Trucks. That's before we did YouTube, and that's before we pushed a lot of the social media stuff. So it was like, hey, the only way that people can really understand who I am is to, like, get in front of them and have a conversation with them. So we started going to a lot of shows, and that drummed up a lot. And it kind of got to the point where the end of last year, we had so many big builds waiting and so many day-to-day tasks with the manufacturing and working on the website and selling parts and shipping parts and all that stuff that, like, we got to a point where guys were talking to me about help with just sizing a brake master cylinder. And, like, I had, like, a couple conversations, and the only thing I was thinking about while they're talking to me is, like, I have no idea how I'm going to help this guy. Like, there's no time. I'm already so upside down with the unachievable workload that I have. Like, I don't know how I can keep helping. So we've just kind of, like, this year kind of tamed it down a little bit and focused on just doing the work that we have to do.
Yeah. How long, ballpark figure, if someone comes to you today? I mean, you said you're very, very busy, and I think, I've talked to other guys, Barry as well, said, you're looking at a couple of years. Is that pretty well where you guys are at too?
Well, it's so hard to say what that really is, because, like, we do a bit of the manufacturing now, and I do quite a bit of project consultation. If you were going to build an entire truck in your garage and you had the income to buy, like, a chassis and a crate motor and a trans and all this stuff, but you didn't have $200,000 to have a shop build it, what I've learned is that, like, me and Dylan can't build every single truck in the world. Barry can't build every single truck in the world. Like, there's just not that many shops. No, but there's so many guys that have a passion. They want to buy all the right parts. I'm doing a lot of consultations where I'm like, hey, like, I can help supply the motor. I can help supply the trans. I can supply all these things. I can create things and palletize them and ship them to you. There's so many things that we have to do throughout the day that, like, the projects take us kind of a long time. Gotcha. So we've tried to hone that into only working on, like, 2 at a time. In years past, when the only thing we were doing was building cars, like, we could get through them pretty quick. But now, like, it seems like every single project, no matter how fast we think we can do it, like, even these patina ones that we're just throwing a chassis and a motor, they still take a year. And if they want paint and upholstery, they're absolutely 2 years.
Oh yeah.
And I think Barry kind of explained it to me. There's so many of the parts, you were talking about. Yes, I can create this stuff up. I can order it for you. I can build your truck in house, and we can have all these parts shipped here and everything. And I might not be fabricating those parts for you. They may be shipped in here, but there's still fabrication that you have to do to those parts to specifically make it fit the bill. So with you not being at, and I'm not trying to be critical of you, with you not being at all the shows that I saw you at in the past, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. You were at all those shows. It drummed up all of this business and everything, and it brought the business to to another level. And now it's like you're working your ass off in the shop to keep up with what you've drummed up, and everything.
And like people will say, like, oh, like that's a good thing. Like, it's good to be in that spot. And it's like, it isn't, because you still get the guys that call and say, hey man, like, I really want you to build a truck. I've got this project, and you're like, I have 6 full builds that are waiting. So, like, I don't know if that's 4 years. I don't know how long that'll be. Right. And they're like, immediately like, well, it sucks for me. And it's like, I know, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it is.
I don't want this to be the case. Or if a guy calls and says, I've built this truck, I'm really proud of it, but I can't take, I want you to build like a full badass stainless exhaust. Yeah. And it's like, I'd love to do that, man.
And
but there's no way I can.
I've seen you put posts out there. I know Barry and I have had discussions on here on the pod about, finding staff and guys to work in the shop and everything. And we've discussed and debated back and forth and everything about everybody's work ethic and what we think and everything. But I mean, if we can get the word out there just through happenstance, somebody just having to catch this pod,
like a guy that his wife wasn't sick, his kid wasn't sick, his fucking aunt wasn't sick, just to fucking show up and work.
So in my line of work as a teacher, you get that a lot, right? I mean, I get it. Your grandma died. How many fucking grandmas you got?
How many fucking grandmas you got?
This is the fifth one this semester.
And it's weird that it's in order. Oh, my wife's sick. My kid's sick. My cousin's sick. My wife's sick.
Well, motherfucker, it's highly contagious.
Like, hey, at least get it out of order a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So it's highly contagious.
So, Jesse, have you experienced the same phenomenon that our brother Barry over here has? And as far as is it for the same? Are you as big an asshole as
phenomenon?
No, hell no. I'm working my way up.
You're gonna have to work a little harder to be this big.
He's got more time, man. No, but it's the same struggle, man. Like I never, like I always had this trajectory from my shop. Like I want to work our way up to this level of quality. And like, dude, I never assumed that like our employment pool would shrink to nothing. Like
because when I started, I was like, this is going to be fucking awesome. We got all these people that want to work. And 15 years later, I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
I'm going to use our platform right now. It's a hiring fair.
Yeah.
Right.
And please, hell, I'll even screen them. If you want to reach out to me, I'll screen you.
Back and forth, we may get you up to your level you want.
But only if all your family members have already gotten sick and already
everybody was going to die. Everybody got over it. Yeah. Everybody got over it.
Well, it is interesting to me, and it seems to be a common theme in this industry, right? It's hard work.
And sometimes Sean and I are like, is there a misconception of income? Is there a misconception of what the workload's like? Because honestly, man, it's the least stressful work environment I've ever been in. It's the most fun work.
Right, so
there's the most growth potential in a position you could ever have. I honestly, all the time, like, Dylan's my main man. He's been there for 9 years. And I'm always like, anytime you want to go to some kind of furthering education, you want to go to sheet metal school, you want to go to do whatever,
let me help you out.
We'll pay for everything. Mm-hmm. And if you want to take on that and you go learn that, that's a pay raise, man. Like, you tell me what you want to make, like, that's what you're going to make. And I just think that that's maybe a misconception in our industry is that, like, listen, I'm going to be a lineman, I can make this much. Well, you can do that, but you're a lineman. I mean, that's not as fun as what I do.
Night to work on the pole. You know what I mean?
No, that's a different kind of work, Barry. Working on the pole in the middle of the night's a different kind of work, bro.
The brass pole.
Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry.
I can't compete with that kind of income.
we get you another bottle of that Woodford.
But here's like when I worked for the dealership, there was none of that. All right, you work harder, you get paid harder. Well, like at my place, it's the same way with you. You work harder and you want to do more.
Sure,
you're going to get paid more. Well,
and it's not like you've got 50 employees. It's not like you're not going to recognize.
Right.
Like he says, the stress level's nothing.
Yeah.
Because when I worked, here's what happened at the dealership. These motherfuckers scheduled shit on Thursday and Friday. They wanted you to do 80 hours worth of work on Thursday and Friday. Mm-hmm. Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, we was fucking hungover, still drunk from the weekend. Well, Thursday and Friday, we did 80 hours worth of work. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We don't have to do this in our setting. You come in, you work all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the contrast is that, you know, like I was in my early 30s making $40,000 a year, managing commercial high production body shops where every single customer I came in contact with was having the worst day.
Yeah.
You know, they hit a deer, somebody hit them. I mean, they were having their worst day. And now, you know,
now you're dealing with customers in their leisure.
And you know, like the customers that we deal with, I mean, this is what they've saved for.
Yeah.
You know, this is what they've got excess income for. You know, this is what makes them happy. And not pisses them off. Right. So I honestly, I don't know why our industry doesn't have more of an employment pool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a huge struggle for us, him, and every other shop in the world.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I think that like our country is amazing, but we all like struggle with the same freedom. You know, like I don't want to work for you. Like I want to hide.
I don't blame you.
I want to hide out of my own property. But, like, that's what every dude wants to do. It's like,
I think the deal is, with a little bit of it, is the intimidation of it. You know what I mean?
I think that's...
Cool, all right, so I'm here in this little corner, and I bet I ain't had 10 people ask me for a job in 15 years.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's only like 35 people in your fucking town.
I'm just saying, when I was fucking 16, if you had a hot rod shop on the corner, I would probably have been there every fucking day. Hey, what the fuck's going on in here? What are we doing? But now that kids are so intimidated, they're not going to be like, hey, what the hell's going on in here? You know?
Well, I do think that is also maybe, this kind of got into a theoretical conversation, but I think that that's why there's so much growth in the industry in shops. Yeah. There's shops everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody can just be like, hey, we build trucks.
Yeah.
And the owners, they don't necessarily have a skill set. You know, like, or the skill set's pretty immature. And I think it's easier to start a business than it is to like hop into a high functioning shop and dig deep. Like I said, that was theoretical, but
I mean, part of that, and I think you're right. And part of it is the illusion that people like you and Barry are just, you know, like what they see on TV, right? You're just a guy that just does a few things and magically makes this, you know, $1 billion a year income. When they don't see that, they don't see that. And I know that's something that Barry has, you know, and I have talked about, and I assume it's the same for you. Yeah. They don't see the, you know, 15, 18, 19, 20-hour days that are done so that this shit can look like it does. They just see you, you know what I mean, walking around and like, oh, man, this guy doesn't do anything. I don't have a real job. Put in all those hours for him, right? Like, I want to be the guy that doesn't do it.
That's what I thought when I fucking started this.
Yeah, joke's on you, motherfucker.
I'll start this deal and I'll have 10 guys working for me. I'll walk around.
You're going to make X amount of dollars an hour off each one of them guys.
So it's just be all fucking great, you know? Well,
what kind of guys you got working?
Nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Guys, so
that's what I was saying. What kind of guys
you
got working for you?
No females working for me. No, nothing happened.
No females, but he's walking around slapping tits and ass. Man tits.
Man tits. Nobody wants to work for him.
Okay, this took a really.
It went from theoretical.
Wind this shit back
to some dark ass perversion.
Let's get back on the road here.
So
yeah,
you know, we talked about how you went to the shows, and then maybe not as prominent as you did and everything, but you enjoy the part of getting there and talking to the people.
I love it. I mainly love selling my trucks.
Well,
oh man,
that's the best show. Catching on. So anybody that wants to get their opportunity to get in front of the man, get in front of the big deal, and talk about just to talk truck shit with the guys face to face, then Southern Illinois Truck Showdown, Labor Day weekend in Marion, Illinois, is a place to be. You can catch the pre-party or the open house at Level 7 Motorsports on Friday. of Labor Day weekend, followed by a pre-party, show on Saturday. An added event for 2024 is the cruise in the Tower Square area of downtown Marion.
That cruise is going to be nice,
and it's gonna be killer.
Hopefully, no one free drink.
Oh yeah, this motherfucker's buying rounds.
Barry, for those of you that have not heard, Barry Higgins has made the call out quite a while back, and I'm going to hold his ass to it. He said if there's not 1,000 trucks at the Southern Illinois Truck Showdown, he's buying a round for everybody there.
And so,
you better be there if it's $9.99. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway,
about that.
I've long said with this event that we've got going on, I don't care if there's 2,000 trucks or if there's 20 trucks, we're going to have a good time no matter what.
Yep.
And that's the thing about our event. It's really laid back. It's a great opportunity for everybody to get together and kind of hang out and see friends that they've not seen in a while and make new ones. Get by Level 7, check out Jesse's shop, and hang out and have a good time there. Move on to the pre-party where we've got a band. The show on Saturday is absolutely killer. That pre-party is a 618 Tap House.
Do you know the band?
Oh, I do know the band.
Do you?
Oh yeah, they're worldwide by the name of.
Does he know that everybody knows the band? At least they will when it's over.
Yeah, if you don't know, you will. It's Pez and the Dispensers. world famous.
Okay.
World famous. Yes.
I like to say, yeah, I'm kind of like up on mine.
Yeah.
You behind.
Yeah, they've been to the ROC and everything. They've been to the ROC. Yeah, right outside Chicago. They've been there. Yeah, but no, they're going to be there, and then we're actually working on. We had a band lined out for Saturday night. We're fixing to pick up another one. We had a band. Ain't nobody wants to see you play nothing, Barry.
The Swamp Tigers or Whistle Pigs or any of them bands play still?
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I never heard of her.
Are you serious?
No. Whistle Pigs are
good. Swamp Tigers.
If anybody knows them guys, have them reach out.
Yeah.
Maybe they are.
Yeah. Well, listen,
we've had both of them play at our open house.
Anybody out there that's listening that's just entertaining. We'd be
Big old bluegrass.
Yeah.
Shane's band to play. What's Shane's band's name?
We don't know.
Just for spite.
Just for spite. Shane will listen to this. He'll get the call out.
What's the other? There's like a pretty hardcore band in the Heron Marion area. I don't remember the name.
I don't know. Anyway, anybody listen to this? We're looking for another one. Hit us up.
We're auditioning. Damn it, we're not just going to take Barry in the hit.
They don't play. Oh, me and him are going to play.
That's what I'm saying. We're trying to avoid
cowbell. They're playing the cowbell. There's going to be lots of cowbell.
Yeah.
Fucking
more cowbell.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, last year we had my buddy Dave-O came through and like made a bunch of brisket tacos.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff for us.
Yeah, I showed him just in time to miss that.
Did you really?
I did.
Okay, so last year he did 4 Boston butts. He's doing 8 Boston butts this year.
Maybe I won't miss out.
He's doing a bunch of ground beef. We're doubling down on everything.
Oh, shit.
We're going to have
shit.
Bunch of killer tacos. Drinks.
It's killer. You know, our event is, and of course, Jesse, I appreciate you and Sean putting this together with the open house, but I think everything collectively is what makes it awesome. It's not your stereotypical local car show or something like that. It's a great gathering. We do a bunch of different things. The awards are strictly sponsor choice awards, and those, since we're at the minor league baseball stadium, we've got a local bat company by the name of Dinger Bats that makes these full-size wooden bats, which I think they're awesome. I mean, there's a lot of great shows out there that give away a lot of great awards and stuff, but it's pretty unique, and the award side of thing is not my cup of tea, but again, like I said, I think everything collectively makes for just a kick-ass weekend.
Yeah, big time. And I said this earlier, but like everybody's got kind of like this thing about their hometown, but like Marion is like honestly like a great spot to have a car show.
Yeah,
I mean, we're so central.
Or a truck show.
Like people from Memphis, Nashville, St. Louis, Chicago. Like it's an easy drive, and we got all the hotels, all the restaurants, everything within walking distance.
So what did we have last year for states. We had
15 states last year, 461 trucks from 15 states.
Shocking, to be honest with you.
That was killer.
And that's for year 2 with a bunch of guys that have no idea what in the hell they're doing. That's pretty damn good.
Oh, I see somebody pouring more.
Oh, yep.
Maybe if we ain't got 30 states each year, I'll buy another round.
Holy shit! Fuck yeah!
Hey, keep talking, son. Keep talking.
More rounds you buy, the happier I'm gonna be.
Let's do a truck giveaway. Hell.
Hey, poor Barry, another one of them. Let's see what we can get out of it. His wife is going to be so proud of him.
Just say it. We want you here.
If there ain't somebody from Alaska, god dang it, that's right about that.
Wait, I know we normally say,
What's our customer?
She's not in the podcast.
Well, I mean, we had a customer come through. We worked on his shit. Maybe he needs to come.
he does need to.
So
Yeah.
So Jesse, we've talked about our show, and we're gonna take the liberty of assuming that is your favorite.
It is his number one show.
Yeah.
He's already said that earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other shows? Give us an idea of what else you enjoyed and what other shows you enjoyed.
Well, so like all the shows that like we ever go to, we're always bringing our kids. We got 2 little kids, and this isn't truck related, but like the Lone Star Roundup is like a huge one. It's like just a good thing. Like I think that I have a connection to that show so much because like Sean and I weren't even married, and I was like, she used to work at SIU, and she used to get off at 9 p.m. at night. It was like lunchtime one day, and I was like, hey, you want to go to Austin, Texas tonight?
Nice.
She's like, what the hell?
No, she's like, yeah, I've never been to Austin, Texas. So we drove all night long, like 14 hours, like went to the Lone Star Roundup all day, went to Austin Speed Shop, drank a bunch of beers, and then tried to find a hotel.
Yeah, that seems well executed.
Oh, man, it was so fun.
Great.
And then, like, when she was pregnant, we went the next year, and then we had our, like, infant the next year after that. It's like we've just kept going and going year after year. So we have a connection with that show, but, like, that show's good. Fall Revival's good. C10 Nationals is good. I mean, like, nothing apexes or peaks the Southern Illinois Truck Show.
You're hearing it right from his mouth, right there, right from the man's mouth. No, never.
We didn't pay him or nothing.
No, hell no.
So another question that I think I want to ask. So the name of your business, the name of your shop is Level 7. Talk to us about how. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I told you earlier on, like a connection that I had with working on cars and stuff was like with my dad. Like he used to kind of buy and sell stuff and flip it, and like it was pretty entry level, but he was always trying to like teach me something. He was always trying to teach me like saving money or like, I don't know, some kind of thing, which is good or bad for father-son relationship. But he was a preacher on the weekends, and he was a school teacher in the daytime. And one of the sermons that he preached one time was like the multiple significance of the number 7 throughout the Bible. And one of them was divine completion. And like I was probably 15, 16 years old when I heard that sermon. But like as I got a little bit older, I knew that I wanted to open a shop. Even in high school, I knew I wanted to open a shop. I thought it was going to be car audio, but like I got my business license in 2001. And like throughout that time of trying to figure out like the perfect name, thinking of a bunch of silly ones, like I referred back to that sermon and thinking like, oh, okay, well, like I'm trying to build cars to like the ultimate level, right? So Level 7 was like the divine level.
Gotcha.
It may be silly, but like when I was in high school, it hit hard. And it stuck.
It don't sound silly because I think, it's got some, it's got its roots in the right place.
It does. Like it's got a connection to my dad, like it does mean something to me,
right.
And
it's catchy, right? Like people, it's marketable. It's not this abstract.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's cool. It opens up a lot of kind of cool conversations too.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys will ask that, and I don't think they ever expect that. They think that it's like some kind of video game reference.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're.
Yeah, I think
this one's short. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're going to try and ramp things up a little bit. Jesse, I want to thank you for being involved with the show and taking time out of your evening to do this recording. And Barry, I've got to have you say the thing.
If you're not there,
Not where?
probably nobody.
What? Not where? Say it again. You
Truck
fucked it
Show.
up. There you go.
Southern Illinois Truck Showdown.
Say it again.
And if you're not there, you're probably nobody.
That's right. Thank you. All right, you guys have a great.
See you.